The Commonwealth may preach peace and cooperation between all sentient life forms of the galaxy, but ever since it took its very first cautious steps into the stars, humanity encountered dangers out there in the void, dangers that could only be overcome by force of arms. Between mysterious creatures made out of light, pirate attacks on shipping lanes and hostile alien empires, the need arose for creation of first true space navy, with Task Force Manticore becoming its main combat formation. Originally just a small collection of patrol craft designed for escort operations, over the years Manticore evolved into a formidable fighting force and one of the most powerful navies in southeastern quadrant of the galaxy. As of today, it uses a variety of vessels, but when it was first created, it was solely composed out of Akula-Class Corvettes, venerable old vessels that, to this day, remain crucial to all Manticore's military and peacetime operations, while also being the single most recognizable ship among Commonwealth's many citizens. At the length of 83 meters, Akula-Class Corvette is the smallest type of vessel that is still qualified as a warship by Commonwealth military standards, with smaller units being classified as either gunships or strike craft. The crew is composed out of 35 deckers and shipwrights, supported by 25 utility droids that can perform most menial tasks and maintenance. The ship also holds a complement of 5-decker marines, who act as a small but highly trained force to be used in boarding operations. During its subspace travels, Akula is propelled by a single Mark III Korolev plasma main engine, with 3 more smaller mission-class engines located beneath it. While the main thruster is placed in a fixed position, these additional ones are constructed out of more flexible materials and mounted on moving rails, allowing for a certain degree of movement, which translates into greater maneuverability. For moving between stars, Akula is equipped with Mark VI Poniewski-Lachinov wormhole modulator that enables the vessel to synchronize with massive wormhole generator stations that form Commonwealth's transport network. The modulator and engines, as well as the rest of the ship, are powered by a single 2-core Kitamura cold fusion reactor, a very compact device that is still able to generate enough power to make Akula fully operational, even leaving some excess energy for use in emergency situations. All these internal components are protected by a set of defensive systems that are quite formidable for a ship this size. The outer layer of defenses is a single Mark II Hoplon shield generator, which projects an energy field around the ship, able to completely dissipate force of all incoming attacks, forcing enemies to first bypass this barrier before being able to strike at the ship proper. But even if the shield overloads, Akula will still be protected by 60 centimeters of Durasteel armor, enough to blunt attacks from capital ships and outright deflect fire of smaller hostile vessels. Still, despite shields and armor in place, Akula's main defensive system is its speed and maneuverability that enable her to simply dodge out of the way of most incoming attacks by using quick directional burns. As for the weaponry, this is where some differences begin to appear. Today, the original Akulas are armed with Shiva-type plasma accelerator, Zaxxon-type antimatter missile launcher, and Shenyang-type railgun. Such variety of weapons is a result of Commonwealth Naval Design School, which believes that a combat vessel should be able to engage all hostile targets without fear of enemy defenses making said attacks effectively useless, as it happened, for example, to Yannari fleet when their massive missile arrays were all but completely countered by Commonwealth point defense lasers and interceptors. Overall, when paired with Radar Subspace Sensor Array, which serves as a targeting system, regular Akula-Class Corvettes are extremely nimble escort ships that excel at screening the fleet by taking on hostile vessels of similar class, while still being able to deal considerable damage to larger craft like destroyers or cruisers. Still, with increased prominence of capital ships in recent years, a new version of Akula has been designed, called Akula-T, which serves as a fast-moving torpedo boat. It sports the exact same defenses and support systems as a regular version, but its weapons are instead replaced with Lyra-type torpedo launcher, as well as twin-barreled Velite-type point defense laser. With a combination of weapons like this, Akula-T usually serves as a fast attack craft, moving close to the target, firing its torpedo launcher, and then speeding away to reload and attack again from another optimal angle, while being able to defend itself, and the fleet at large, from incoming missiles and strike craft. Usually operating in large groups, these vessels are, unlike regular models, designed to cripple capital ships, while being able to relatively easily dodge return fire of their lumbering, high-caliber guns. Unfortunately for their crews, however, life on board of an Akula is not exactly pleasant. The ship's design is based heavily on old Earth submarines, with various internal components being exposed along the ship's interior. Due to limited space, the crews of Akulas are forced to rely on hot racking, with a limited number of bunks always being occupied by off-duty deckers. Aside from that, crew facilities are rather limited, with break room being able to hold only 8 people at a time, while also serving as a kitchen and canteen. Fortunately, with the race-wide agoraphobia that is now present in humans, the complete lack of windows, that are not present on any Commonwealth vessel due to them being categorized as structural weakness, is not as much of a problem as it would be for other races. Speaking of, Akulas, again like almost every other military ship of the Commonwealth, are crewed exclusively by humans, due to lack of facilities necessary to house other species. Finally, due to their small size and constant advances in weapon technology, Akulas are ships that tend to suffer most casualties among the fleet. Their speed may allow them to evade attacks, but a single well-placed hit from a battlecruiser can cripple them, meaning that piloting these corvettes leave very little room for mistakes. Also, given Commonwealth's mentality of quality above quantity, Akulas can often find themselves severely outnumbered by their inferior hostile counterparts. As a result, these corvettes are mostly crewed by junior cadre of the Navy, although a number of veteran officers remained on some of these ships, teaching the new recruits how to use them to their full, often underestimated potential. Despite these problems, however, AkulaClass Corvettes remain the most famous and recognizable ships among Commonwealth's population. For one, their small size and modular structure means that they can be easily mass-produced, with some shipyards being able to construct one from ground up in less than a month. But, most importantly, they are warships that are most extensively used among the civilians during peacetime, often serving as patrol boats and law enforcers. While cruisers, battle cruisers and most carriers and destroyers spend peacetime in dock, pairs of Akulas, one regular and one torpedo boat, patrol major shipping lanes, respond to distress calls, support exploration missions and hunt pirates, which makes them the public face of Commonwealth's Navy, as well as a popular destination for all young, aspiring deckers or shipwrights who long for a life of adventure. After all, life on Akula may be dangerous and uncomfortable, but it's certainly not boring, and that is often enough to make citizens of the Commonwealth leave their underground homes behind in hopes of becoming a dashing captain and making a name for themselves out there in the great unknown.